In this video, you're going to learn budgeting tips for marketing from a guy that has invested over $100,000 in online advertising with all of his clients over the past few years. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you need to know is that marketing is an investment and not an expense. Now, logically, this makes sense, and most of you guys are already aware of this, but you don't actually understand the principle because otherwise you would be investing way more than this. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. Most of you guys see marketing and advertising as an expense, and you ask the question, how much will it cost me? Whereas instead, you should ask the question and you should ask yourself, how much will it cost me to acquire a new listing or a new client? Because that question is completely different. If you ask how much will it cost me, then you're asking yourself basically how much will it cost me worst case scenario if I don't get a return, right? But obviously when you invest in advertising or marketing or online lead generation, for example, you're looking to get a return on your investment. Otherwise you wouldn't do it. You would stay on your couch and you would just make cold calling or whatever, right? But you guys are looking to get clients from the leads that you generate from advertising and marketing. Now, you need to ask your question, how much will it cost me? For example, instead of looking at, hey, it will cost me $5,000 to do that marketing piece that I always wanted to do, start looking at, with that $5,000, how many leads will I get? And from these leads, how many listing appointments will I be able to get? And then from these listing appointments, based off my historical closing rate, how many closings will I be able to get, or how many listings will I be able to get? So let's say you invest $5,000, you get 100 leads, just for the example's sakes and for simplicity's sake. Then out of these, you get 20 listing appointments, and then you get, let's say, 5 listings, right? So these 5 listings that will bring you $10,000 each, then they are worth $50,000 to you, and you only invested $5,000. So it's a 10x potential return. So instead of worrying about the $5,000 that this marketing effort will cost you, start to think about, hey, I'll be able to add an extra 50 grand in GCI this year thanks to that $5,000. The second advertising budgeting tip that I have to give you as a real estate marketing expert myself is savers are losers. What I mean by this is, if you are saving money and in your bank account and you're not investing it, I think honestly you are a loser. Now, don't take this personally, because I was the biggest losers of all time before, because I was the one saving and I didn't want to spend my money. I was really frugal, just in my business and also my personal life as well. Why? Because I came from a family that didn't have that much money, and all I heard growing up was save your money because you never know when you're gonna need more, and you better save your money to buy a house, to buy a car, and all of this, right? The reason I heard that is because my parents weren't investing, right? They tried to save up money, but they always were, living paycheck to paycheck. So they told me, hey, don't do like us, don't live paycheck to paycheck, try to save your money, right? But the thing is, I think it's better to save your money than to blow it, obviously. But the thing that's even better than saving your money is to invest it. Reason that is because the money that you have in your bank account is actually losing you money. Why? Because the inflation rate. Why? Because the inflation rate. Why? Because the inflation rate is higher than the interest rate that you earn on your savings. Meaning, what you earn as monthly interest in your bank account actually costs you more, because the value of the amount that you have actually goes down with time. And if you don't believe me, just look it up online. Look at the average interest rate for the bank that you are with, or check with your actual bank what the interest rate is. And keep in mind, they'll give you like an annual interest rate, not a monthly interest rate. So you have to divide it by 12 if you want to get the monthly. And then look at the inflation rate as well, and you'll see that inflation rate is higher than the interest rates most of the time. So that means that you're not making any money, even though you're earning interest in your bank account, but you're losing money. So that's why you'll be better off investing that money instead of leaving it in the bank account like I used to do for years and years. Even if you just break even with your investment that you make, you'll be better off. Why? Because you'll have name recognition, you'll be building your brand. Whereas if you leave it in the bank account, you have no name recognition, you have no advertising that's being done for yourself, your real estate business, and the only thing you're doing is losing money. The third and final tip I have to give you for budgeting in your real estate business is to improve your risk tolerance with time. First, when you first start off to invest back in your real estate business, you want to start with what you are comfortable, obviously. And then you want to start tracking the returns that you get from the investments that you make. Biggest mistake I see out there from real estate agents is that they don't track the returns from the investment they make. They invest $1,000 here, $1,000 there. They don't track shit about what they are supposed to get back. And that's why they are stressed out and they can't increase their risk tolerance because they don't know if it's actually working or not. If you knew that every time you put $1,000 in this specific strategy, you get in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, you would be way more confident to increase that spend, and that risk tolerance with time would be increasing as well. Reason why you want to increase your risk tolerance as a real estate agent when investing and budgeting is because most of the times the cheapest investments will be the ones that will get you the lowest returns. Why? Because they have the lowest barrier of entry, right? So anyone could get in most of the time, so anyone could get the same returns. Now, the biggest returns and the most lucrative, profitable investments that you can make as a real estate agent are oftentimes a bit harder to access because they require a bigger investment, right? It just goes with value. The more you invest, usually the more value you get back. Now, besides tracking your returns on your real estate investment, in order to build your risk tolerance with time, you need to be aware that even if you just broke even, like I mentioned, you will be better off investing that money than just leaving it in your bank account. So just by being aware that what you're doing is a good thing, then you can start to increase your risk tolerance and over time make bigger and bigger investments. And also another thing that's really important to help you build your risk tolerance is that over time, when you start advertising yourself and investing back in your business, you're gonna get more clients, more listings, and your real estate income will grow, right? Your gross commission income at the end of the year will be bigger than last year. And if you keep the same living expenses, you'll have a bigger monthly or annually profit, meaning you'll be able to build a surplus of cash on a monthly basis that you don't necessarily need to live off. So you can take that money and invest it back in the business, and you'll have just more money to throw around marketing systems and help you build marketing strategies that you aren't utilizing right now to get more listings. So that's all for this video, guys. My name is Michael. I help real estate agents get more listings. So if you are a real estate agent and you're looking to get more listings, guess what? You can subscribe to the channel for free, and I release 3 videos like these every single week to help you grow your real estate business. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.